Welcome back to another video episode of Comedy, Luxembourg's finest metal podcast. Today, it's the three of us, and we are going to present our top 5 albums of 2025 so far. This year has been nothing short of incredible. The first 4 months were filled with amazing stuff. And we want to kind of present you a bit of a short list of what impressed us the most.
Fair enough.
Guys, what has impressed you so far? Well, how has 2025 been for you?
Busy. Kind of busy. The releases this year so far, I mean, while we are recording this, we are only in April. It's insane to keep up with, with the sheer amount of goodness that came out already. So it's tough.
It's definitely too much, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to nearly scratch
all of your albums.
Yeah, it's difficult to first of all keep up, but then again, I mean, rearranged it in a way that most of the records we found like a good middle way to resume at least the ones we find better than the others, I might say. But then again, the year is not over, so it's too early to say that this will be final for the end of the year list. But
no.
What I really like,
though,
what I really appreciate this time, we have a way more colorful list, the three of us. Usually there's a lot of like, okay, death metal, progressive death metal, black metal, but I feel this time is way more varied. Right? So
yeah. So I guess is going to present a lot of dark stuff. Gilles is going to provide the
happy
contrast
stuff.
with color and happiness and
dreamy stuff.
Paradise. And I'm going to be somehow in the middle.
We shall begin then, shall we? We kept them too long on the edge, so...
Who wants to start?
Anyone?
Well, you already began, so...
Go ahead.
Okay, so I will start with an album that came out, I think it was in March. And this is Dawn of Ouroborus. The album is called Bioluminessence. They are a band from Oakland, California. This is their third full-length studio album. They play a quite ambitious blend of post-metal, progressive, melodic death metal, and they even hint at some black metal as well. They have created a quite lush tapestry of quite emotive soundscapes, kind of soul-stirring melodies. They introduce atmospheric dreaminess. So their compositions are quite heartfelt, but then set in motion with a lot of technicality, careful layering. So you have shifting moods, meandering soundscapes, smooth transitions, and it can be very warm and dreamy in one moment, but then also swiftly switch to like very aggressive, visceral sections. Mm-hmm. And a lot of emphasis lies here on the vocals. They are, you could say, a female-fronted metal band. Their singer, Chelsea Murphy, has quite a strong vocal range. He has, on the one hand, very strong soul-piercing screams, also some deep growls, and they hit really, really hard. But then she would also switch to very beautiful, ethereal, clean vocals, and she kind of like switches between those two different styles throughout the songs, which kind of have like this ebb and flow. And this new record, Bioluminessence, is very well crafted. It pulsates with life. It echoes themes of transformation. It feels introspective. And so in case you've never heard of Dawn of Ouroborus, I suggest you check them out.
I'm going to be fair here. I think for all, that counts for all of us. We were not able to listen to everything that we are going to list today.
Same here.
But I read your review, and I mean, it's top on what you explained. So, but maybe something that I might still have to listen to. So
yeah, even for me, it sounds interesting, definitely.
So let's go then, I guess.
Let's move on. Should I be next or?
Go ahead, my dude.
Okay, let's go. My first album for today is Spiritbox with Tsunami Sea. It's the new album.
I forgot about that.
And they showcased the evolution from their 2021 debut, Eternal Blue. It's definitely a step up for me. The band mixes metalcore with alternative metal and electronic vibes to create a sound that's both heavy and melodic. And what Spiritbox does so well is mixing some soft ambient moments with heavier, more chaotic sections, calm and intense at the same time.
Yeah.
Also, Courtney's voice is amazing as usual.
Absolutely.
And if you're into metal that mixes catchy, melodic elements with heavy, aggressive vibes, it's definitely worth a listen. It's modern metal at its best for me.
Agreed. 100% agreed. What they did so far, I mean, their evolution is nuts. What they've been through, and they are at the top now. They're at the top of the game. I think for them, this is probably the top. Well, hopefully not the end of the line, though, but...
No, I don't think so, no.
I don't think either, because Mike Stringer, the guitarist, is such a good songwriter. Even though Daniel also did like a review on that. The songs feel a bit more mainstream oriented, but they are heavy as fuck.
It's heavy. Mainstream doesn't have to mean bad.
Yeah.
Mainstream doesn't have to mean cheap.
Exactly,
it can be heavy, and people will love it nonetheless.
Exactly.
And I think it's only their second album, so it's quite impressive to be so far on top. And I think also the way they're marketed, so they have very good music videos. There's quite a lot of budget behind them, and so I think that also kind of gives them a boost.
Yeah. I will definitely. I mean, we all, the three of us, and many people out there will definitely follow Spiritbox, because latest with the Knocked Loose incident and the I Am Poppy stuff. Everybody knows Spiritbox by now, so
it's quite a big meme,
yeah, kind of. But hey, I'll do mine then. Is a solo project I discovered only in the beginning of the year. I had no clue this existed, and I'm not aware if this fella did a record before. The band is called Alixer from France, with the record Dasein Mitsein. That's a German kind of title, but he does post black metal with black gaze elements, with like depressive black metal elements. Usually that's not really my cup of tea. Obviously the black gaze, that's like my stuff for sure. But what I really appreciate with this record, he has like a lot of just spoken, not real vocals, but he reads poems that he writes that evolve around the theme of obviously introspection and pain and basically feeling alone, to make it easy. And I think for you guys, the first track, the opener, Le Crépuscule se relèvera, is the title, is a freaking genius strike to hit on emotional levels I was not aware of, especially in French, which gives it this kind of exotic vibe. So the Alixer is definitely a high game for me for this year, for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, sounds like chill music.
Yep. Like many of the ones on my list.
Yeah. Now, I think the French language really has a certain ring that works very well with especially darker sides of metal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll go to my next album, and this is something that was released in January. And this is a French metal band. It's kind of like a post-black metal band, and they're called the Great Old Ones. The album Kadath. So this is already their fifth full-length studio album, and these guys, as the name of the band suggests, they are masters of Lovecraftian metal, so metal that pays homage to the works of horror of H.P. Lovecraft. I remember that you guys made an episode all about books in metal, and Lovecraft was, of course, part of that episode. And so on this album, they take us into like a hidden dreamland. So a vision of a majestic city that is set on top of Mount Kadath, which is like the earthly home of the dream gods. And so the Great Old Ones try to reproduce a sound that kind of reflects that fantasy aura of the story and then blends it with a looming sense of dread, really bringing forward the quintessence of Lovecraftian cosmic horror. Because in Lovecraftian horror, it's really about primordial beings that that invade our dreams, or that have some kind of mind control over us, something, really dark and very, very ancient. And so they do this very, very well, because the production is really like chef's kiss. They balanced a mix of riffs, percussion, bass, and the vocals, and it feels mythical, ancient, like the remnants of a sunken civilization. So compared to other Lovecraft worshippers, other bands that focus on H.P. Lovecraft, like Sulphur Aeon or their French brethren Blood aus Nord, I think that the great old ones keep their sound a bit more melodic, a bit easier to follow. And yet, so they have like vicious burst fires, but they also kind of glide into very tasty melodies, and always keeping this ominous air of unease. So I think it's a quite long album. It could have benefited from a little bit of trimming here and there. So like over an hour long, but if you let it work on you, it's like a lucid dream.
Yeah, it's very long though. That's the only thing I remember listening to it. It is a seriously good album, but I think that's their message as well. They want you to get really lost in these fields of horror and madness, and in a way it makes sense that the songs are that long. But then I have to agree with you. It's a bit too dragging to listen to in one go. So.
Well, I have to say, shame on me, because I didn't have time until now to listen to the album.
Shame.
Yeah, shame. Yeah. I really liked the previous album, Cosmicism, but I always forgot. I knew it was out, but I didn't have the time.
We all forgot things this year.
Yeah.
No shame there.
I don't even have time to listen to the things I want to. So it can be difficult sometimes. But I will give it a listen. That's for sure. So let's move on. My next album on the list is Havukruunu with the album Tavastland.
Excuse me?
And Havukruunu.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
It's from Finnish album, Finnish band. There's seriously cool mix of heavy metal, rock and roll with black metal elements, combined with pagan and folk influences. And the band pulls off a great balance between heavy riffs, catchy solos, and even Viking-style choirs with acoustic moments. Album feels massive without ever dragging, and the band does a great job switching between furious blasts and more epic, almost heroic sections. It feels like you're riding into a battle one moment and then sitting chilling next to bonfire the other moments. It's heavy, it's emotional, it's epic without being cheesy. That's important. It's just an album that feels honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I've reviewed this one as well. I was really impressed. The album artwork kind of suggests that it's black metal, but they often get mistaken as a black metal band, but actually much more like a heavy metal band with black metal adjacent ideas. Because the riffs and the leads and the solos, they are so sweet and so good, fast, technical, powerful, and very invigorating in a way. So I feel he has that kind of Viking atmosphere. It's a very, very enjoyable album.
It's my shame record for sure. But the way you described it, and I'm gonna be honest, I did not even read the review. I did not even get the chance to do that. But shame on me, shame on all of us. It sounds interesting because if Pitt says emotional, that's something new to me in terms of music. Sometimes you have your phases, but no, I'm kidding. But
emotional can mean something else for everybody. Huh?
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So I will discover either some horrible bludgeon butchery.
No, I don't think so.
I don't
think you maybe I think you will like it. Maybe a bit.
I saw as you said, Daniel, the cover, and I was like, oh no, this is black metal, and I'm not in the black metal mood, so that's why I probably skipped it. But I'll give it a go. And for me, obviously, I will lighten the mood with some power metal. For once, since we did this podcast, we started this, I have some power metal probably on my end of the year list. I'm kind of proud of that because power metal was my OG game of metal music. And I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Avantasia released the record Here Be Dragons in February. I was not ready to be like amazed by this record because I know Avantasia from before. I respect what they do. I like them a lot. Other records were better. But hey, then I saw them live here. And everything changed. Basically. They have such a phenomenal live show. They have so many great guest singers. There's Adrienne Cohen from Seven Spires on the record. There's who else is there? I think the singer, I forgot his name, from Europe is on the record, which is obviously a hard rock band. The songs tend to be, obviously, it's power metal, it's heavy metal orientated, but some go very hard. There's Geoff Tate, for example, it's maybe my favorite track on the record, the title track, Here Be Dragons, with Geoff Tate of Queensryche, which is such a great song. And fun part, when I saw the cover, because the cover is very cheesy. It's freaking cheesy with the dragon in the middle, like, oh, this it has to be. But on the other hand, basically, Here Be Dragons means, like, if you have those very old world maps, every uncharted area has usually those mythical animals on it. And there's a term for that, meaning Here Be Dragons, because nobody dares to go there. So that's like the message behind the thing.
Okay.
And that amplifies with the ideas of the songs that they produce there. So it's very interesting. I really highly recommend it, even for those who are not in the power metal mood, to be fair.
Yeah, sure.
Well, this is an album that is on my shame list. I did not listen to this because as soon as I see power metal or power metal-like artwork, I guess I'm not.
I get it.
Happy enough. Maybe I'll leave it for when I'm older.
You're too old.
No, I guess I need to. This is something I might enjoy when I'm older. I was just leaving that for later.
Okay.
I exactly get what you mean. For me, it's the same. I have to be in the mood for power metal. That's definitely not every day.
Yeah.
And I know Avantasia. I even have seen them live in Wacken a long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago. And they are good. Musically, they are great. But for me, they are a little bit too cheesy.
I get it.
But yeah, no problem.
That's why we are so colorful for once. But we get along and we love each other. Oh, isn't that sweet?
For sure.
Okay, is it my turn again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an album from Belgium. So I'm really kind of staying in the region, and this is something that piqued my interest because of the artwork. It's like some kind of druid, so like a female druid, kind of like overgrown with flowers and tendrils, like a forest spirit, basically. And I really liked it. And so I checked it out, and it was very different from my usual cup of metal. Mm-hmm. And so this is a more post-rock progressive bands. It's like you could always call this non-metal because there's very, very few guitars on this. This is pretty much a duo that focus on bass guitar and drums. So usually those two instruments that kind of get overshadowed by vocals and guitars and all of that. Now they get their opportunity to like really shine. And these two guys, so I forgot to actually say what is the name of this band. This is Black Narcissus. The album is called There Lingers, One Who's Long Forgotten. So a very big, long, poetic name. Mm-hmm. And Black Narcissus, they capture emotions very well through lush soundscapes. It feels evocative. It feels like it has a bit of like shoegaze sides. It's like vivid atmospheres, a lot of dynamic rhythms. But overall, it's something you can really chill to. It's nothing to headbang to. It's really something that is beautiful, immersive, maybe even introspective. And when you see how it kind of goes with the very beautiful artwork, this is something to simply revel in its wonderful aesthetics. So I was in the mood for this. I just, on that day, I didn't want to hear anything heavy. I didn't want to hear anything dark or kind of screams. And then this really hit the spot.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm sorry, I also haven't listened to this, but the way you described it, maybe I will give it a try.
Well, for me, easy. Daniel sent me a message. You have to listen to this, and I was like, "Aye, sir," and I did. And yeah, you have to basically, you have even a sunny day, I would call it. You sit in your sofa, and you just let it treat your soul, because it's seriously amazing. I didn't know the band, probably like you didn't as well. It's a freaking great record. So not one of my top five, obviously, but then we tried to obviously like get everyone's attention with some different records. But hey.
So my next album was also a recommendation from Daniel. So thanks for that, because it's a pretty great album. I'm talking about Dormant Ordeal with the album Tooth and Nail. And Dormant Ordeal is a two-man death metal band from Poland. And this album is, it's heavy, it's technical, atmospheric, all at once. From the first track already, you're in for something intense, and they don't let up. The riffs are sharp, the drumming is insane. Even with all the chaos, they find ways to sneak in some haunting melodies, and that give the songs real depth. They are balancing brutality with atmosphere. It's not just mindless blast beats, the real emotion underneath it. And also the production is super clean without sounding sterile. And they remind me a bit of early Behemoth, Decapitated, and even a little bit of McGraw in it.
Need to check it out. I mean, I only heard like a snippet when we were discussing this episode. It definitely has that Behemoth vibes, for sure.
Yeah, sure. As that Polish death metal.
Like most Polish death metal bands kind of have this kind of Behemoth comparison.
The vocalist sounds a lot like Nergal. So maybe if he didn't sound like that, the parallels to Behemoth would be so obvious. I also like to compare it a little bit to Ulcerate, because like Ulcerate tries to has this like very oppressive, nightmarish death metal sound.
Atmosphere.
So Dormant Ordeal do that as well, but maybe a little bit more forgiving than Ulcerate. But I love the dissonant layering, the dynamic range. It's very technical, great production, as you mentioned, Pit. So this is an album that I enjoyed very, very much.
Same.
Sounds good. Then we shall see what I have in my bag of goodies. Guess what? There's another power metal record. Yay! Yeah. Okay, but to be fair, this was expected. Ancient Bards released a record like a few weeks ago while this is coming out, called Artifex. The previous record, Origin, the Black Crystal Sword Saga Part 2. Yes, very cheesy, very long title. I get it. I really got enchanted because Ancient Bards, for me, they take what was good with Rhapsody, and they take what is, let's say, left of the old days of Nightwish, and they combine it very well. Let's say these two bands had a one-night stand, and Ancient Bards would be the result, basically. Interestingly, they also mix it with a lot of more heavier parts. I feel that they do way heavier power metal, but with a very good, clean vocalist. Sarah Skradani is an amazing vocalist, and They have some black metal, like blast beat, like phrases in there as well. It's obviously not that much, but they give it a nice little like accent or the dot on the I, basically. And I love this record. I've been listening to it on repeat since it dropped, and it's very, very well balanced. There's a lot of power metal songs. There's a lot of clean ballad kind of songs. It is very well balanced. I think that's the key word, and I described it in a review as well. It's freaking balanced. I can't explain it otherwise. Something maybe not for everybody again, but they have. Who's the drummer again? Is the guy from Windrose, the dwarf metal guys. So a lot of different influences here and there, but obviously Italy is like the hotspot for power metal nowadays, and they are from there and they do it freaking well. So I really would love to see this band live, see if they deliver live as good as on record. So
yeah, you have mentioned them multiple times, even recommended them, recommended us both to listen to them, and I also didn't have the time. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's okay. You're forgiven.
Well, you forgive me too, because I also kind of ignored it.
Of course. I mean, yeah. Like, he's talking about power metal. I'm not replying straight away, basically. No, I get it. Totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then.
Well, maybe I'll give it a try, because you are. They clearly sound very, very interesting.
We can always give them a try. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on. My next album on the list, and we're talking about Messa, The Spin. This was released just this month, and they are a doom metal band, and they kind of describe their music as Scarlet Doom. Now, that is not a new genre. It's just how they think their sound is best described. So this is not traditional doom metal like a Candlemass or maybe something like Chemist. This has a lot of jazz elements. It has also some synthesizers here and there, also some kind of like drone, and it feels like like velvet, like softer, like smoother, but it still feels rich and powerful. So they have like slow rumbling riffs and slow percussion that kind of creates a very eerie atmosphere. And then they start building up emotion and tension, of course. And then, their songs kind of like include elements of jazz, punk, post-metal, progressive, dark ambient. And so they stay very dynamic. Quiet, moody passages suddenly give way to very strong, sludgy riffs. And that these riffs then again would build tension and slide into beautiful, sweeping, soulful solos, as you would expect more like from a rock album.
Yep.
And however, I think for me the highlight are definitely the vocals. Sarah Biankin, she has an absolute phenomenal voice. She really sings more like a jazz singer, very soulful, very rich vocals, very emotional, cathartic even. So you have songs like, I think Gilles, you also kind of mentioned this when you did your reaction video to, what was it, The Dress?
Amazing song.
That's absolutely amazing
it's
song.
Insane.
Really, it's so good, especially that jazzy part, like halfway through the song is so sweet.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like picture it like you're in this bar. It's very dark. You got a cigar smoke everywhere. You got a strong drink in your hand, and there's this like bands playing very slow riffs, jazzy, moody vibes, and then all of a sudden you got somebody coming on stage, and that just fills the room with this enormous voice. And so Messa really excel at playing something that is very unique. There's no band like them. Yep. And so they have their own style. And I think it's appeals to a lot of people. I could also picture people that don't listen to metal at all. I could imagine recommending this to them, and they would actually really enjoy it, especially for those that like some jazz here and there.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know the band. I know that you did a review a few years back for the previous record.
Yeah, Close.
Close, exactly. And I mean, I tried listening to it, and for some reason it didn't click. But this record is insane. Every song feels like an orgasm. It's like the slow build up. It reminds me a lot of how the Doors write music.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Like the end, for example, the dress is basically a counterpart for that. I mean, correct me for those out there who will not agree. They will surely let us know. But it has everything the end has. Personal preference. Obviously, this track is the best on the record, by far, for me at least.
For me, it's the last song, "Thicker Blood." That was definitely my favorite.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. Yeah. I didn't know the band either. I heard you both talking about it, and the way you talked about it, I was recently a little bit into, let's say, dark gothic, doomy kind of music, and yeah, that sounded like it would pleasure me, and it does. It's an excellent album, as Dan said. It's dark, it's gloomy, eerie, but beautiful at the same time. Excellent work.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. My next album is from the band Crossbringer, and the album is called Healismus Aeternus, and the band is from Russia. They play a mix of black metal, hardcore, and a bit of crust-punk. The album is pretty short, with only around 26 minutes, but it's also sharp and absolutely ruthless. Crossbringer packs a ton of emotion and chaos in that short time, blending blackened hardcore and dissonant noise into something that feels intense, strangely beautiful at times. And even between the aggressive chaos, there are moments of eerie calm and atmosphere. The whole thing feels like a descent into something dark, definitely. It's not a very catchy or accessible album, but it's definitely an intense one that will grab you.
We'll have to give it a listen, I guess.
Something. It's pit music.
It's pit. Damn. Okay,
that's enough for me.
I have a soft spot for blackened hardcore, blackened punk, something like that. Always catches me.
Good First stuff. Time I'm hearing about this. So
okay,
yeah, cool.
Something.
So I'm gonna recommend it. I think you will like it. Then
will I like it?
No,
probably.
Really?
Maybe a bit.
I mean, we will definitely check all the things out that we're not talking here today. So
yeah, sure.
I will go for my second to last, which is from here. So very happily saying this is also one of the first Luxembourgish productions that make it probably into, or not probably, but most definitely into our end of the year list. Parity released a record called Zero Sum Game. What they did there can compete with like bands such as you mentioned, Spiritbox or I don't know, Ginger, Architects. If they are not getting the recognition they deserve by now, I don't know what else to do. Because this record is insane. I listened to a few demos here and there when we were like we did the episode together, obviously, the interview. We talked about the record. But I mean, Daniel was at the releaser as well. What they delivered that evening and how this band has fused into actually becoming like a proper band from where they started from, and what they released with this record is as modern as it gets for local production. And out of Luxembourg, this is the best you can find, hands down. So I don't know what else to say, unless I mean, except that it's brilliantly written. It's electronic at times. It is weird, like kind of sometimes, but it has its charming like elements to it. For Sandra, the vocalist, what she did, also the evolution she went through. Sometimes she's as evil as it gets. Sometimes she's freaking emotional, like songs as Togetherness, for example, which is a banger, or Gravity as well. it's insane. It's just insane, and I'm freaking happy for them that this worked out the way it did. So, hat off.
I also hope they will get a lot of recognition for this, because this is really a great album, and the evolution the whole band made over the last years is just incredible, and absolutely deserve to be in this list.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you said they could easily be compared to giants like Ginger or Spiritbox. I mean, I fully agree with that statement. This album, yes, is incredible. I gave it a thorough listen. I wrote a review. It's progressive, it's modern, it's catchy, it's groovy, it's infectious. The choruses are such earworms. So it just goes into your head. It stays there, and you're gonna come back for more. The guitars, the percussion, it's really kicking hard. Huh? Amazing stuff.
Really. Amazing stuff. So,
okay, so that's so now we're going to look at my last album for today, and of course it had to be Deafheaven and their new album, Lonely People with Power. Wow, this really went under my skin. And the interesting thing for me is that I was not the biggest Deafheaven, I wouldn't say fan, but I just never really listened much to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a band that's just, for some unknown reasons, I don't know, I kind of missed out on. Of course, I was familiar with their infamous or famous Pink album Sunbather, and I did eventually also listen to it, also listen to New Bermuda to kind of get a bit of an idea of how to understand their sound, and then also be able to see how does this new album Lonely People with Power fare compared to their previous releases. And I think that this is probably their best work.
It is.
And considering how strong Sunbather and New Bermuda are, that is a big statement, but I'm sure this album will stand the test of time.
For sure.
This is a masterclass album of black metal, post-metal, post-rock, and especially shoegaze, so it really goes into black gaze territories, and I love some good black gaze. And it's very long. It's an hour long, but in this case, it really should not get trimmed anywhere. It's really perfect as it is.
It doesn't feel as long also.
It doesn't feel as long. It really plays a trick on you, really dragging you to its very evocative and dark moods. It kind of holds up, say, a mirror of our time, because loneliness, this is about loneliness. So the feeling of being unseen, unheard, that kind of leads to a slow erosion of oneself. It's like you're being crushed by some heavy silence, and you're emotionally disconnected. And a lot of people suffer from loneliness. And in order to kind of capture such a complex topic, so this theme of solitude in a meaningful way, they put together sorrowful moods, but also raw emotions, and then yet combined it with very lush soundscape. So it's an interplay of woeful melodies and that very cold tremolos, but there's always this hint of something more positive, there's some hope. And they do that, they convey that with gorgeous synths and a very kind of compelling sound, and they guide you through it, and you just need to let it work on you. The performances are great, the production is amazing. There's really actually nothing to complain about this album, and this will end up very, very high on my end of the year list for sure.
I think they managed to close the gap between those who hated Deafheaven for what they initially were, those who betrayed black metal, kind of, but maybe, but I feel like this is the statement that, okay, no, you guys have no idea what we are able to, and it's a statement for the band. And for now
nobody can deny that this guys are great musicians, and they made really the best album of their career since now. That's for sure.
100%.
Well, okay, for me, my last album is, of course, Imperial Triumphant with Goldstar.
Who would have thought?
Dan
Yes.
and yeah, Dan and I already made a whole episode about Imperial Triumphant, so I will not go too deep into the band's history. If you want to know more, I recommend to watch that episode first. And yeah, Goldstar is the kind of album that doesn't care if you're ready for it. It's wild, it's chaotic, sometimes beautiful, avant-garde-ish, always intense. Basically what you would expect from Imperial Triumphant, a band that mixes black and death metal with jazz and whatever else they want to throw in the blender. Uh, this band doesn't really follow rules. They can basically do whatever they want, and they have the boundaries. There's a lot of New York City energy in it too, noisy, dramatic, glamorous, grimy, all at once. The whole vibe is theatrical and almost cinematic. Besides, I still think that Goldstar is a little bit more accessible than the previous albums, even a bit catchy from time to time. But yeah, it's still Imperial Triumphant. You know what you're into.
It's not the power metal catchy, guys.
No,
No, it's not the same game here. Great. Okay, so yeah,
you summed this up really well. I agree with everything you said. I mean, I always loved their aesthetics with the gold masks and the dark cloaks that they wear, and it's always like very posh, very golden, very rich, luxurious. But their music is so ugly and rotten and vile. I love that massive contrast. This one is, as you said, a lot more a bit more accessible than the previous ones. Yeah. And I think it really comes down to that they trimmed it a little bit. They kept this much shorter than their previous albums, because some of the older ones they kind of like have parts that drag on maybe a bit much.
Some songs, yeah.
And like on Goldstar, that doesn't happen. So you really stay focused from start to finish.
Yeah. What's difficult for that kind of music?
Okay, let's head to my not number one, but who knows what's going on. But then chances are very high, okay? Because Kardashev released a new record, Alunea. Yes, that's it. I don't know what else to say. No, it's Kardashev. Obviously, you guys know Kardashev, but I cannot understand how this band is still so unknown to so many people. Not only because of the newest record. I mean, Alunea is a statement and an evolution of the band in a different way, though, than Liminal Right, for sure. It has way more progressive parts. It is even nastier in some ways than Liminal Right. But on the other hand, the vocals of Mark Garrett are insane. And they balance, again, this whole ethereal vibe out to the max. I mean, I was a bit, let's say, worried. I mean, I talked to Daniel about that. The songs like Reunion and Scene of the Night, they were super great. But in a way, I was like, I hope it's not just that. It would be great, though. And it was not just that. I mean, Alunea is an homage to its predecessor, the Almanac, obviously, which is a very lore-driven record. And it continues or ends the story, kind of. Alunea is probably, I'm going to say it now, probably going to be very, very high, very, 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 very high on my end of the year list, because it destroyed me in every way possible, and it rebuilded me, as I wrote in the review. It's insanely well written. Some parts are a bit, again, weirder than what I'm used to of Kardashev, because they are, I don't know, they feel a bit like misplaced, but in a good way. And I don't know, the songs, they just make sense. It's a cathedral of emotion and layers. Layers is the key. And what Nico and the boys of Kardashev, what they did instrumentally as well is freaking great. So hands down, one of the best records for me so far.
Yeah, you give them already a really good description. Today was the first time I had time to listen to it, and yeah, it's it's great. It's magnificent. Mark Gareth has the voice of an angel
crazy,
and
right?
a demon at the same time. Yeah, it's
he's not.
great,
I mean,
great
he's
guy,
a teacher. He's a vocal
band.
teacher for a reason.
Yeah,
So-
definitely, yeah. No, it's great album. I have to give it a few more listens, but
it's
it
not
could
an
be
easy
on my
listen.
top 10
Yeah,
list at
I
the end
forgot
of
to
the
say
year.
that. It's not an
Not
easy
really,
listen
not
at
really,
all.
yeah. But
But-
still,
Very rewarding.
yeah.
I mean, also, I posted my review yesterday, and I mean, I praised it a lot, but I kind of ran out of space to kind of like say bring forward one tiny criticism, which, however, Jill would probably disagree with, or probably kind of turn it around, or maybe I will do that already. But they included so many ideas and concepts and patterns, not just aggressive and quieter parts, but lots of things in between.
Yeah.
And that was very risky, and you could get lost in it, so that you kind of like don't know what is the direction that you want to go to.
I agree on that, though.
But I think that it was a risk, but it paid off. It worked. So they brought it together. They were able to tie it in a concise way, but the listener needs to focus on it for it to truly work.
Yeah.
So this is an album that you should not listen to casually, but you need to listen to it with full intent.
100%. It's a record that needs a lot of time.
Indeed,
I've been listening to it, and it dropped a few days ago since while we are recording this, and I mean, a few times a day already is I feel like a must. And still, I realize certain layers, the layers that you described as being maybe too much for a non-experienced deaf gaze or gazy element layer seeker will be overwhelmed. Probably that's definitely true. But if you manage to find your way, it embalms this whole thing in a very delicate, blanket kind of.
Okay, so these were our individual top 5 of 2025 so far. So of our best albums of the first 4 months. So I hope we could recommend some of these things to you. I hope you will feel inspired by this list. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Press the notification bell. So you get updates on Comedy, Luxembourg's Finest Metal podcast right away. Leave us a comment if you can, and we will see or hear each other in the next episode.
Bye, guys.